We are live. Hey, family. It's so good to see every one of you all. There are also some people in the background. It's great to see you guys too. I know you guys don't have your video on. Oh, wait, my brother's in the building. Hold on. See if I can bring you up. Shamir, my good brother. It's so wonderful to see you all today as we celebrate the life, I gotta say, of the Honorable Tony T. Franklin.
Yes.
You know, this day came so fast. It feels like yeah. So it came super fast. We just came off of a weekend of celebrating just new opportunities, and his spirit was so alive and well in that place. And we know that he was there with us in spirit. Had he been there physically, he would have had the best bottle in the house, and sitting back in typical Tony fashion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, kick back, enjoying the festivities, as he would say, partaking in the festivities. And so we had an amazing time. So I just really quick just want to congratulate David on the soft opening of Prosperity Mint's beautiful location. Like I said, Tony's spirit was alive and well in that place. And so we had an amazing time. Definitely felt his energy in that place. So real quick, I just want to introduce those who are on the panel with us. Just so the friends who are watching live know who you're looking at. I have in the top, in the middle, the Dr. Rick Mathis in the building. How are you, Doc?
Thank you. Man, doing well. Just here to support and live my love and energy.
We appreciate you. I just want to thank you, even publicly, for just making sure that we continue to honor Tony. You know, it's not an easy situation when you're dating someone or you're in a relationship with someone, and the person who they've spent the majority of their life with makes a transition. You have handled that thing with grace. You've continued to make sure that you honor his legacy as well. And so I appreciate you for that. In the top right-hand corner is my good brother. And not only is he a brother, we have done business. We have fought the good fight for years. Dr. David Wren in the building. Hey, Dick, I think you're muted.
Hey, Isha. Hey, everyone. No doctor at all. But,
Oh, bro. Listen. You want to talk about an expert in his field, the most
Tony.
knowledgeable person, right, I've ever met. And Tony would say the same thing if he was here to say it.
Yeah. My brother, I would just preface this all with saying Tony is the most ingenious. I mean, just his overall. He was a genius. He's a genius, and he's the smartest person. Tony and Isha collectively together were the smartest people I ever met in my life, and it's an honor to call him friend, call him brother, call him a source of foundation for me personally, and Isha as well. Like I always say, our families have a covenant with one another, so that speaks everything. And I don't want to, I don't want to belabor anything else because there's so much I could say and I want to say, but I want to make sure that we respect the overall process and the overall opportunity to just give thanks to the great living legend of my man Tony.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And again, you all have the time. That's what today is for. This has made it just a bit easier to be able to celebrate and to fellowship with our family, the people who loved him the most. I didn't think this was gonna be this hard. Those of us who love him the most, and so it's so good to continue to fellowship with y'all. So y'all got the floor, whatever it is that you want to say. So I'll continue with the introductions, and I'm gonna save the queen for last. We got my brother in the building, Shamir. Hey.
Hey, hello everybody. I had to support my sister, and though the circumstances are not how I wish I would be the most communicative, she's always been there for me, and Tony has always been a source of education and business and motivation. And many of the goals that I set for myself in life were inspired by the moves that Tony and Isha has made. So I just appreciate being in the orbit of you two. I love y'all, and I appreciate being here tonight.
I love you so much. I appreciate you, and in the same spirit, it's important that we honor those who have made the great transformation before us. And, I honor my godmother. She was, you and your mom, or your mom and I were super, super, super close. And these transitions for me happened back to back. And, within months. And so I honor her tonight as well. And so we love you, love the fam, and big up to the Kathy Shivers. And so I got my sister in the building. She hiding. Her video ain't on. But that's my baby sister, my blood sister. Jay is in the building. Hey, Jay.
Hey, chick.
What's up? What's going on?
Nothing. I'm just tuning in. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Hey.
Auntie.
Hey,
So again, Jay is my sister, the only blood sister I got. And so her and Tony had a very special relationship. They were buddies, drinking buddies. It was an interesting thing to see them partake in the festivities together. The last couple memories that we shared was when Jay, you came to Dallas and stayed with us, you and the girls, and you and Tony just sat on the sofa and just drank the whole damn time. So, and I don't think I drank at that time. I
No.
don't think I was drinking yet. I was still in my non-drinking phase. And if you've ever been sober watching two drunk people, you understand. It was like I was so over them, like over them together. And but he loved you. He loved you like crazy. Y'all had a relationship that he really valued. And so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I miss my
Um,
brother, man. I just to piggyback off of what you said, every time you was mean to me, he always tell me I was right.
he he would tell it in my face.
No, not to your face. But he always like, you know your sister, man. And I'm like, I know. He say, but y'all just alike. But then you'll say me and him is just alike.
Cause y'all were.
But
Y'all were so annoying.
Oh, to a lot.
For real.
I
Annoying.
know, and I really, really, when I say I miss him, you know it. You know me and you. We talk, but I really miss him because he had a great spirit, a genuine spirit, a caring spirit, and so when I really, really was around him, I knew you and his were open. I knew you guys were protected. You guys were really, really cared for, and that meant so much to me. And then me and my two coming in, and he embraced me and the girls like he known us forever. And that was just how he was. That was his aura, and I loved it, loved it, loved it. Like I could see it, and just he would talk to me about um always financials. We know that, but he would always talk to me. Oh, want you to get a registered legally, get your gun, and you gotta make sure the girls is good. And I'm like, oh, here we go.
Right.
Okay, bro. Okay, you right. All right. And then that's when he be like, hold on, let me introduce you to something. He pull out the ace of spades, it's over.
Oh God, it was over. Over.
But I
And
really, really I loved him to death, like to life. Love him to
yeah,
death, but I love him to life because he was that person. And I will always cherish our moments.
that's right. And it's funny you talking about the ace of spades. So it would be one thing like when you're watching people get drunk, but when they drinking real expensive and getting drunk, it's a whole nother vibe. They drinking ace of spade out the bottle.
We chilling. Then he was like, let's ride in the cart.
Yeah. So
Let's go.
they intoxicated on the golf cart. We live on the golf course and we the only somebody
Yeah.
out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they out there riding dirty. Okay. No nothing. Tony wouldn't do the right thing. Golf cart ain't got no plates on it. They out there drinking. They doing a lot.
That's my boy. I'm riding. He say, "Let's go. We out."
For real. Tony was the first person I ever seen pulled over by the police on a golf cart. First person ever. I was in the passenger side and we had went and got the kids. I think Lisa was there, Lisa and Jane, so she could testify to that. We were crossing a street that was 30 miles an hour, crossing the street, but we were on a street that was 25. And so we got pulled over and the police said, you can't have a golf cart on a street that's over 25 miles an hour. And of course, in good Tony fashion, I wasn't on the street over 25 miles an hour. I crossed the street that was over 25 miles an hour. And so y'all know he would go around and around. He didn't care if he was making a point. So I'm sitting there like, Lord, just please don't let us go to jail. Just like, please don't let us go to jail. And so by the end of that conversation, you know, Tony and the officer was kicking it. Y'all know he knew no strangers. Tony could turn anybody into a friend.
Yes.
And so yeah, that's just who he was. Got the girls in the bottom. Hey, Lisa.
Hi, mommy.
Hi. Let me see. How are you, sweet girl?
I'm good, Mama. I'm tired. I'm good.
She ain't tired. Hey, Mama. Mama T. Hey. Lisa, do you remember being on the golf cart when we got pulled over?
Yes. And by the end of the pulling over, they was best friends talking about their golf carts. And the police officer had one as well. It was just
yeah. So anyway, so Lisa and James is on the back of the golf cart. Our family, like Grandma, I know you probably remember the golf cart had 18s on it.
Yes, it did.
Had rims, 18s, had a sub in the back. Had a 5-disc changer that he got installed in the golf cart. It had champagne brown paint. That golf cart was better than some people's vehicles.
Yeah. Very expensive.
Expensive. Anybody knew Tony know when he get a toy, he take it to the next level. Like next level. He can spend so much money on that Corvette. I said you could have bought 2 Corvettes for the amount of money that you put in that one. But Tony loved classics. He loved classic vehicles. And let me see who else. Got a couple people in the background. So hey to you folks in the background. I know you guys don't want to jump on video, so I won't force you. Real quick, I want to jump into the comments. Uncle Richard, good to see you. Thank you so much. I know that you and Tony used to have really great conversations. I know that you have shared with me that you love communicating with him and spending time with him, and he loved talking to you just as equally. My sister, Misha's in the building. I don't know why she's not on video. Misha, jump in on video, girl. Why you in the comments? That's Tony's only sister. Let's see who else we got. So hey to everybody else who just kind of hiding. It's good to see all of you. My phone is going crazy with the comments and the people just sending love. And I know Angie was on earlier too. Jariah is in the building. I love her. It's so funny. She never met Tony in person, but Dave and I have talked about him so much. I imagine that she feels like she knows Tony by now. And we know that he would have loved Jariah. Like love her. And so anyway, so we're really blessed to have her part of our family. So let's jump into these photos, y'all. I had some music that I wanted to play. Hi, sweet girl. There she go. I had some music that I wanted to play, but y'all know how these social media people be trying to kick us off when we start playing people's stuff. But I want to play one of Tony's favorite songs. Does anybody know what it is?
I don't know what his favorite song is, but what I can say is every time we was in the car, he played Kendrick.
Mm-hmm. He did it. Kansas City or Kevin Gates
or True.
Or
True by Lloyd.
Yes.
Or Rick Ross.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So,
I forgot.
So Tony had the same CD players, like the same CDs playing in the BMW.
Charlie Wilson all the time.
For years. Like I don't even know if he knew how to get the disc out. But no matter when you roll with him, the same music was in rotation. Mm-hmm. He played Rose, Rick Ross. He played Kendrick, Drake, What's the guy?
Beyonce too. Beyonce too. He loved Beyonce. Go talk.
Beyonce. And what's the guy?
Tech Nine.
Tech Nine. And Kevin.
Kevin Gates.
Okay, yeah, Kevin Gates, but the other guy, the gospel guy.
Oh,
Brian Trujillo.
oh. Brian T.
Right.
Is that his
Yeah,
name?
Brian T.
Brian T. Yeah.
So the last trip that we took, the week that Tony made his transition, we drove to Laredo, Mexico, which I think that drive was like 5 or 6 hours in the car. And when I tell you, he played the same music. We were sitting there like, you go to sleep, wake up, it's the same song. Okay, like that's how much he played Brian T. And all of that stuff in the truck.
The same album.
The same album.
Same album. The Red
And
Letters album. Same
the Red
album.
Letters.
Never failed.
And I told him, I'm like, he got other music out, right? He done came out with like 3 albums since this one. But he just kept that music in rotation. And I know, thank you, Tamisha. Yeah, it was Brian Trujillo, who is a Latin gospel singer, not singer, a rapper, a Latin gospel rapper. And some of the songs spoke about just changing your life and wanting something different and something better. And so I think a lot of the music that Tony was listening to was really like the soundtrack of his life. And so regardless of what the circumstances was, Tony always knew he was bigger and better. Like always. Always. I don't care what was happening. I was going through my phone the other day when we had first moved to McKinney, and there was like a lapse in between, like when our furniture and stuff arrived to the house to when we moved in. And so we had like air mattresses for a couple of days. I know the kids probably remember, but we had air mattresses for a couple of days. And before we left the other house, I told Tony, it's like, we don't have a lot of room. Grab 5 things. That's it. Like, don't come with like the pistol collection, none of that kind of stuff. 5 things to take with us. There was 2 things that Tony held on to from the time we left Fort Worth to the time we got in that house. And which I think it was. Anybody? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. He didn't grab me.
TV.
He didn't grab me.
I'm gonna say
Like,
TV. For some reason, I don't know why, but a gun is registered in the game.
yes. He grabbed a firearm, a 13-inch TV, his Xbox.
Oh, I remember.
Y'all remember? I'm like,
Yes.
what about me though? What about me? He like, you good. Like he held on to that TV, like, and it was a little bitty 13-inch TV. And when I was going through my phone the other day, I found the picture that I snapped of him because I said something on Facebook like, yo, I asked him to grab the most important things to him. That's what he grabbed. Not me. He grabbed the Xbox. And so it was super funny because he was sitting so close to the TV. Y'all know Tony could not see. He needed glasses.
Look, but he would never admit that.
But he
Never.
refused to get glasses until like the last few years.
And then
Of
still
his
say
life.
he didn't need them.
And still say he didn't need them.
Yeah.
Tony would put readers on y'all and be like this. Like, I'm like, you got glasses on your face. And so he was sitting so close to that TV, that little 13-inch TV. He was playing Diablo. He was playing Diablo. And so that was some of the things that was most important to Tony. And a bottle. Y'all know he had a bottle, honey. He wasn't going nowhere with that. Tony liked to have a good time.
Yeah.
All right. So the song that he absolutely played every single day without fail. I'm gonna play a couple seconds, long enough for us not to get in trouble. I'm gonna see if y'all can tell me the artist.
Take 9. Take 9. Kansas City. Kansas City. Kansas City. Kansas City.
I was born in Main Minor projects. Most people carry them waistliner objects. None of
Take
them
9.
thinking I'm a
Take 9.
picking the
Tech Nine.
Take 9.
All the
Tech
Kansas City
Nine.
people talk about Tech. That's Tech 9. Yes.
Take.
What up, Larry? Hold on. Let me see if I can get the link in the comments because you got to jump in. All right. Yes. So Kansas City, Tech 9, never failed. I could not wait until that damn disc stopped. And I can tell y'all that damn disc still playing today. If you go start the BMW, the first thing you're going to hear is Kansas City by Tech 9. That was really important to me. I made sure that, I kept his music in rotation and I would not change it. So anyway, so what up, Lil Larry? Lil Larry's baby cousin is in the comments. I just sent him the link. Jump in the video so you can say hey. So I did a live briefly this morning on Instagram and Facebook. And so I said a couple of things about Tony. And if anybody caught those lives and could answer the questions, here we go. There was a couple questions that a couple things that I mentioned about Tony. One was a song that he continued to play in rotation, which I just played. It was Kansas City by Tech 9. I talked about one of his most favorite things. I talked about his hobby. What was the thing Tony loved to do the most? He used to call it his most expensive hobby. Grandma knows. I've seen that, Grandma. Called it his most expensive hobby. If anybody can answer any of those questions.
It's a couple. For the hobby, it's a couple. But for his favorite thing or favorite, what'd you say, Mommy? Okay, it don't matter. It's the shooting range. Anyways, the shooting range, the ATV, or his cigar. Them are the top 3. And then... Or his gaming. Yeah, his gaming. Yeah, because anytime a new system came out, he was going to get it. With all the games that he loves playing.
Yeah, Tony loved to play video games. It definitely was not his most expensive hobby.
Can I throw something in there?
Okay,
so
Timmy.
I
think remember a phrase Tony uses all the time. He's like, you gotta remember that shooting, it'd be more expensive than golf.
That's right. He's got shooting his most expensive hobby.
Yes.
And Dave laughing because Dave is an avid golfer. So he knows shooting is way more expensive than golf.
And that's what I was going to say. And Timmy hit the nail on the head. But, what I used to love with Tony with shooting was that when we would go shooting, there's another thing that Tony loved. And that was going to the country to shoot with the family. And so that was definitely his most expensive and most enjoyable hobby. And I know Timmy's going to remember this. He affectionately called Timmy boy. And when we would go shooting, come on, boy. And so I know what we were going to go do. We were going to go shooting. So for sure.
Yep. Timmy was the boy. James was the little boy. Where the little boy at? And so he absolutely loved shooting. And that was one of the things that I love too. What up, though, Mish?
Hey,
um,
family.
is
Hey.
Tony made hey Tony made sure that everybody could shoot.
Mhm.
If you stumble on that property, that was gonna be your last step. Everybody down to Jaleesa, the baby of the family, could pick you off from 100 yards when she was
And he
what?
didn't start us off with like
7?
pistols. He didn't start us off with pistols. We started out with rifles.
Mm-hmm. They did. They did. And so that was one of the things that we always felt protected.
Mhm.
Always. There was never a time that I felt unprotected or unsafe. And I know that was one of the things that when we were talking about what we missed the most, and it was how secure we felt.
Mhm.
Not even from like a physical like protection safety, but you knew if something would have happened, no matter what, he had you.
Yeah.
I don't care what happened, he got your back. When I think back to when the pancetta happened, I ain't gonna call it what they call it, and we went on lockdown in, was it November? November, and most of the country didn't really go on lockdown till March. So we had already been in the house for like 6 months.
Wow.
I remember the day when Lil Malcolm called us and was like, "Hey, look, it's about to go down. Make sure y'all got X, Y, and Z. Make sure you got this. Make sure you got that." I remember Tony hanging up the phone and said, "We moving." At that time, we were in a penthouse with a 4-bedroom penthouse. And he said, "We getting out this building." Right away, that day, I think I started packing. And we was out of there. Because he knew, like, that's not where you want to be. So he absolutely responded right away. We had enough gloves, masks, and all that other kind of stuff to supply the hospital when it was all said and done. And but that's just the kind of person that he was. And we traveled damn near with a year's supply of food. We weren't going nowhere. We got 20 pieces of luggage coming through the airport all the time. I mean, and the people, you know, we used to travel. Girls, how many times? Like 2 or 3 times a week, just going back and forth.
Yeah. Enough.
And we checking in with 20 pieces of luggage.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony could care less. Whatever it costs to check it, we taking it.
I still got the photos and everything. Because we would have to take the photos and make sure we got every single luggage that we checked in, that we got it on the other side.
Yep.
Had a whole system down.
Yeah. It was like organized chaos. From the way we packed, what we took with us was so strategic. We would take photos of all of our luggage before we checked it in. We do an inventory as soon as we landed. We orchestrated vehicles because you can't just get in a regular car with 20 pieces of luggage. So we got buses meeting us, and we was doing this every week. So we became professional travelers.
Yeah.
Simply because he never wanted something to happen and we be caught off guard and not prepared. And so it was like, you got to pack whatever's most important to you, whatever you, because if we get over there, we got to stay. We staying and we ain't coming back. And so we taking all the documents, our marriage certificates, birth certificates, social security cards, food, business documents, business documents got 2 suitcases by themselves, because that's just how prepared he was.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we had some amazing memories. And so I want to share really quick some photos. Again, a lot of these photos I had not seen, and I want to give her an opportunity to say hey too. So on the panel, the pretty little face in the middle on the left is Tamisha, Tony's baby sister. They're really his twin. What up, Mish?
Hey, everybody.
It's
Hey.
so good to see you. So I appreciate you compiling these photos and getting them over to me. Like I said, I was, when the link came through, something told me don't open that link or you got to work the rest of the day. You got to put your face on. I clicked that link and I was in the office, a hot mess. But if you can, Grandma, if
Yeah.
you'll help us, when I put the photos up, can you tell us a little background about the photos?
Sure.
Like who's in the photo and what's going on? All right.
That would be a picture of me holding Tony, and we were at his grandmother's house. I think Tony was probably about maybe 2 years old.
That was at Grandma Mildred's, right?
Yes.
Because if I'm not mistaken, that was the same house. That's the same house that she had when she transitioned?
Yes.
Okay. So where you're sitting is where I sat when I met Grandma Mildred for the first time. And when I tell y'all, she sat me down and prepared me to be his wife. She told me everything. She gave me the low on the family.
Yeah.
Every single person. She dropped a couple recipes real quick. She really prepared me, and I had never seen that done before. And then subsequently, of course, she would make her transition. And there's a story about Tony making it there for her, to be there for her when she transitioned. So I know that she welcomed him on the other side.
Yep. He had quite a few people waiting on him.
He did. And look how skinty Grandma was, y'all.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Look how skinty. All right. Tell me about this photo.
That's little Tony there in the white. That's my little nephew, Jeffrey's oldest son. And that's Grandpa, Earl Clapton. So that was Grandma Mildred's father. So we were there at their house visiting.
Wow.
And he was very strict. You see how little Jeffrey's just sitting there looking like I bet not move.
Yeah.
And of course, Tony sitting there with his little box haircut.
A little boo with the fade.
Yeah.
High top.
Right. High top fade. And just his face, my God, his little face was so perfect. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another picture of little Tony. He was a handsome baby, young man. Got his little shorts and his sandals on. So yeah,
With the socks. Look at them socks. And with them sandals with the straps on. Y'all know them straps was hurting back then.
yeah,
Cutting off the circulation.
yeah. That's how we dressed back then.
He was such a cute baby.
He was. I remember after he was born, he looked like a little Mexican baby, and I remember me and my mom took him to the hospital to get his first set of shots, and this little lady sitting next to me was asking me if I wanted to give him up for adoption. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, he's mine.
Boy, that is funny. So he has told that story about him looking Mexican as a child the whole 8 years we was in Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Like the whole 8 years. I'm like, bro, that story don't get you no street cred.
I don't remember how old he was there, but we were, look at him. So bright-eyed and lovable, you know. Always getting into something.
Mm-hmm. And then that never stopped.
No, never did.
Even into adulthood. Y'all, Tony was always doing something.
Always.
Let's see.
Beautiful. Beautiful picture. And if you look at his hair, you really can't tell it on here, but his hair was very curly and he's just a beautiful baby. He did have at that age, we would always be at my mother-in-law's house, and her husband was kind of like a invalid. He couldn't get out of bed. He could barely speak sentences, but he could curse really good. I mean, you could really hear those words, and that's where Tony picked those words up from. You know, if he didn't say nothing else, and when he got mad, he'd be like, "Fuck her, bitch," and I'm like, you can't say that, you know. But you know, of course, it was kind of funny a little bit at first, but you know, it got embarrassing when we got into the store and he didn't get something he wanted, and I left him in the basket with my sister because he was cussing her out. So, but he soon, you know, he soon outgrew it, but
And that was his favorite cuss word.
yep.
Those two together.
He'd always hear Pops saying that.
So he been off the chain from the beginning.
Yeah, from the
So
beginning.
he started out saying, "No."
And my
now I get
sister
it.
was like, "Why are you leaving him here with me, cussing me out?"
Oh,
Yeah, that was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And at such a young age.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I was just gonna say, you know, I can't even count how many kids he taught to say that same cuss word.
Are you serious?
Yes. Anytime it was a little kid, he'd be over there whispering. And I'd be like,
snitching.
yo.
Why are you snitching?
He'd be like, "Say
But you know, he's always kind of been mischievous like that. I remember Tamisha was like 2 years old, and her dad was laying on the couch, sleep, and little Tony, she had a full bottle of milk, and little Tony's telling her, "Hit daddy with it. Go hit him." Oh my gosh, she hit that man, and she hit him hard with a full bottle of milk. The kids, Antoine and Tony, are in there laughing, and you know him, he was just cussing. So yeah, little Tony's been mischievous.
Oh my gosh.
But Mom, let us say any type of cuss word. He's like, ooh, ooh.
Uh-huh.
And no, an instigator. He was an instigator, definitely. If like
Oh,
he thought we
absolutely.
was cuss or something,
He's like, baby, you heard that?
baby, you heard that?
Right. He'd be like, who said that? Wait, what y'all say? I think I heard a cuss word. Who said that? Come here and repeat that. He wanted y'all to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Um,
But he was a happy baby. He was very, he was happy. He's a happy kid growing up. And Tony was a big guy, but originally he wasn't that big. When he started going to school is when he started gaining weight, because we take him over to his grandmother's house before we leave for work. And she put him on the school bus, but she fixed a full course meal every morning: sausage, eggs, pancakes, bacon, hash browns, every morning, And from that point on, I mean, he just started gaining weight.
mm-hmm.
But
And he used to expect that.
oh, absolutely.
I remember when we first got married, and he'd wake up and be looking at me, and I'm looking at him. My name ain't Mildred. My name ain't Grandma Mildred, homie. No, but I did. I used to fix him breakfast every morning.
And I do want to add, Mildred was the best cook I've ever come across. I mean, she was a caterer, but anything she cooked, you could eat it cold. It was just so good. She fixed everything from scratch. She never had a microwave in her house, and refused to get one over the years. She never had a microwave.
Yeah. That was kind of one of the running things that we talked about. Never putting a microwave in our house. Of course, when the kids were younger, we did, because they just kind of had to. But
Right. Yeah.
But for at least the last 8 years, we haven't had one.
Yeah.
Air fryer, stove, and oven. Figure it out.
Yeah. And you can't figure out how to put it in the air fryer, you ain't gonna eat it hot. That's all. You gonna eat it cold.
But I can say that because it was kind of like cold turkey when they took the microwave. So we learned how to cook on the stove real fast.
Mm-hmm. Real fast.
And I think he loved the fact that we had learned how to cook, because if mom wasn't feeling good or mom had to go somewhere super early, one of us was cooking breakfast. He'd be like, and y'all better be cooking for me too.
Mm-hmm. Honey, he had a radar. Like, he can be outside on the other side of the house and would slide in that kitchen as soon as the food was ready.
Yeah.
And come sidestepping, grabbing plates. I'm like, ain't nobody called you. Nobody called you.
Oh, wow. Let's see who this is. That's Tony, Antoine, and that's their Uncle Jeffrey standing there in the middle. Yeah. Yeah. Me and Jeffrey used to be running partners back in the day.
Look
Yes.
at Tony's face. That face. That can be super intimidating.
Yeah, it could be.
That look right there. And it's so funny because whenever he was in deep thought, like, that's the look.
Yeah, but Tony was a no nonsense person. He didn't play with people. He let them know right up front what the deal was. And he gets that from his dad, because his dad's very plain spoken too, but Tony didn't play.
No, he didn't. I remember thinking at plenty of workshops, like when the workshop first started happening, they used to be like, oh, Tony this, Tony's so sweet, Tony this. And I'd be thinking in my head, Tony will shoot up this whole building.
Yeah.
Like, They're like, oh, Tony, oh, Tony. I'm looking at him like, Tony didn't play about nothing.
No, no, he didn't.
He done knocked your front teeth to your throat for you realize it.
Okay.
You know what?
Yes.
When you say he didn't play and he shoot up the whole building, remember when we went to the gun range and he wouldn't let me shoot no little gun? The first gun I shot was a Desert Eagle.
Right. Because he wanted
I'm
you
like,
to learn the
okay.
biggest gun, how to handle it, so that way
Mhm.
anything else is just easy.
Yep. I think my shoulder was hurting, but I had fun. Then
Uh-huh.
he said, once I did that, when we got to the house, he was like, I got something for you. And he pulled out that chest. Yeah. When he pulled out that trunk and we opened up that trunk, my eyes lit up. I was like, oh my God. Woo. Yeah, we had fun.
Yep. We moved. We had I think Lil Malcolm was with us. Was with me because I had the responsibility of handling all of the firearms when we moved. And so even putting that stuff in storage and doing all kind of stuff. I said I didn't cry when we sent Timmy to college.
Over today.
But here I was in the Augusta, not want to give up nothing. Woohooing like a baby. Let me see. So this picture's sideways, but
That's Tony. Let's see. That's Tony,
Yeah.
his dad in the middle, and is that Antoine? Yeah, that's
that's
Antoine.
Antoine.
Yeah.
So that's Antoine on the right, which would be the bottom photo with the Jordan shirt. That's Ant. It's Tony's brother. That's Pops in the middle. That's his dad. And then Tony, of course, in the stripes at the top, which would be the left.
Right.
There we go.
As you can see there, everyone is so true. Is that Tony didn't play? I always say that Tony would laugh and joke, but the brother did not play.
No.
And you can see where he get that he actually was that way organically, and because that was his sincerity, he would laugh and joke, but he would not play. And so you can see that in in all of his pictures.
Mm-hmm. He didn't. And that goes back to that feeling that we're talking about when we say we all felt super protected around him because he wasn't going to take no mess.
Correct.
Wasn't nothing going down. Wasn't nobody coming around with no foolishness. I'm just uploading a couple more photos that I want to share real quick. Oh, that one. And this one. All right. Them shades and that watch.
Oh yeah.
Now he can wear some jewelry now.
Yeah.
He could wear some jewelry.
And a lot
watch.
A lot of these pictures was at Grandma Mildred's house. We ate dinner over there every Sunday, every day, every Sunday. She would cook a big dinner for the family. So we were always over there, and while we were there, she was taking pictures. Even people that weren't family members were coming for dinner. Our food was so good.
It was good. I ain't even gonna hold you. All right, Lisa, let me get your photos up. I see you.
Yeah, he was so cute back then.
He was. He looked like a little man in that photo. He probably was coming out talking about gold and silver, talking about getting your business in order. He probably doing a workshop in that picture right
That's right. He teaching.
there. Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Who are these folks?
These are all the uncles. That's his dad sitting there in the like blue shirt with the white stripes. Above him is Uncle Charles. Next to him is Uncle Pumpkin. Below Uncle Pumpkin, right there in the red, that's Tony. And the guy with the afro standing up, that's their Uncle Larry.
Mhm.
And he's actually holding Antoine.
Oh, okay.
And then the one sitting down on the left, that's the Uncle Perry. And then you can't see Uncle Jeffrey, but he's on the other side. So he's there with all his uncles.
You could tell in that photo, although you can only see his shoulder and a bit of his face, how skinny Jeffrey was.
Oh, yeah.
And what appropriate timing to be talking about Uncle Larry.
Why you say that?
Because we got little Larry in the building.
Uh-oh.
What up,
What's
Cuzzo?
going on, family?
Good.
How y'all doing?
Hey, Larry, how are you?
I'm all right. Yourself, Bonnie? Ain't you?
I'm doing okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's so good to see you. Thank you for jumping in. I know you and Tony had a special relationship.
Yeah, the thing about older cousins, especially Tony and Antoine, they were like my first brothers before I actually had my own. And like I just remember like hanging out over grandma's house and just listening to Tony like talk about house decorations, cars, and then it went to business, and just the energy that he had like was just was impressive. You know what I mean? It was just like you could just see everything that he was talking about like just through his words, and it was like, he was just always just a great soul to be around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like grandma spoiled us. So like me and Sweetie Mom, I'm sorry, Tamisha. Me and Tamisha, nobody could touch the brownies until we showed up. But then nobody could touch that stovetop stuffing until little Tony showed up. You know what I mean? And I remember the last time I think we sat at the table, we were eating. He's like, "Man, I drove from Texas just to get this, and I'm taking some back." You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, like he was that dude, man. That's all I can say, man. Like I said, like he was just a big brother before I even had my own, or before I came a big brother myself. You know what I mean? So just a real genuine dude. But yeah, he didn't take no games or play no games, rather, because our fathers and uncles, they didn't play either. Especially about family. If they felt like you were in trouble, they would pull up to the doorstep with gun in hand, not playing any games, not saying much, but but that's just how they were. Tony was the same way, so
That's real. Yeah. That's real. And that's why I say he wouldn't take no shorts.
No.
Mm-mm. And you might think you getting over. Tony would bring that thing back around so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And something that little Larry said that about Tony being impressive, And he was, and that's what people loved about him. But I did want to say, as far as Tony, the uncles, and everybody, they were a very close-knit family because of Grandma Mildred.
Grandma Mildred.
You know, she kept the family together. And we don't have that nowadays where you have a matriarch that can keep the family together, you know.
That's right. And that's why it's important. That's why legacy is so important, to really
Absolutely.
continue that, you know.
Yeah, because she had all them boys, but she didn't play. Okay.
I mean, you couldn't play with all them boys.
Right.
You couldn't play.
Oh, wow. That's a picture of me, little Tony there at the table on the right, and my brother-in-law Larry on the other side of the table. Eating, we're always there eating.
Now look at that rotary phone though.
Oh yeah.
You weren't walking around the house on no phone. You had to sit right there at
Yeah.
that table. Take that phone call.
Yeah. Another picture of Tony.
His smile.
Oh yeah, he was a happy baby though. He really was.
Tony had a great smile and a great laugh. Like, it was infectious. He would laugh at his own jokes, and you would just be laughing because he was laughing.
Because he was laughing.
Yeah, but you know, you say that, but Tony was a jokester. I mean, I'd be walking around the house, and next thing I know, he come around the corner and scare the crap out of me, and I'm just like,
Who you telling?
Frustrating.
We had a war in our house. It was the kids against them. And we carried it all the way to Mexico. It started in Fort Worth, and we carried it all the way here, and it continued.
Yeah.
And I told him, I told him early on in our marriage, I said, don't play with me. Like, that scaring stuff, that coming out in the nighttime when it's dark, all the kind of, like, don't play with me with that kind of stuff. And he didn't, because he knew I was serious. I was not playing. I said, I'm not playing. Don't scare me. Don't come up on me in the dark, because he was good for that. He will stay in the dark for an hour just so you could come in the house and he could come up behind you and scare you.
And you know, the most memorable moment I can say for me with Tony, he was probably about maybe 6 or 7 years old. And my dad gave him these cowboy boots. So he's just in the house. We had wood floors, and he's in the house just clacking on the floor with these boots. And his dad was like, boy, take them. Didn't I tell you to take them boots off? Take them boots off. So he kicks one of the boots off. And then he kicks the other boot off and breaks the window. And if you had seen the look on his face, oh my God. It was so funny.
He knew he messed up.
Yeah, he knew he messed up.
I'm just thinking about Pops.
Why are you laughing, Tamisha?
Pops probably wanted to kill him.
No, boy, you know, Daddy was the raging bull.
Mm-hmm.
Went from 0 to 100.
Okay. Look at him.
Oh, that's a good picture of him.
Look how cute.
He got him little two teeth at the bottom. Now, don't he look like a little Mexican on that picture?
He do look Mexican in that picture. I ain't even gonna lie. And why is that sweater buttoned up so high? Whole thing.
Because it was cold. It was cold in Kansas City. It ain't like being in Mexico.
Look how his step. He like this. Oh,
The dress us was sickening, man. All these old pictures, the way she used to dress us, man. I still got beef with you too,
Whatever. That was
sent
the
out a
style.
picture to you too about my baby pictures. Okay.
Poor baby. He look like he can't breathe. He just like, oh babe. He looks so cute. Look at his ears, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one that taught Tiana how to bike.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he did. Look his little ace in the trap.
Oh,
This makes me think, are the girls still? Lisa,
I'm here,
where's
Mommy.
oh, Maya, you there?
I think Maya went to the bathroom or something.
Oh, okay. We can come back to it.
it makes you think what?
I was gonna have her tell a story about when she turned 18.
Oh, yeah.
I heard all about it.
I might have some video. So this photo, we were at one of our favorite places. It's called the Ryu, and it's in Cabo. And so one of the things that we like to do was what Tony called hotel hop. So every weekend we find a different hotel or resort and go stay. And then he would make friends. I mean, from the front end manager to the bar manager, the restaurant manager. I mean, everywhere we went, they knew Tony.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, that's who he was.
Like, he knew no strangers. So that's one of his favorite places. Again, Tony used to just sit for all my foolishness. Y'all know he hated to take photos.
Yes, he did.
Hated photos. I think within the first maybe 5, 6 years, I kind of got him around to taking selfies. So whenever I would take a photo, he'd just be like, but he wouldn't get out the photo. He would stay. And then later in our marriage is when this started. He went from not ever taking no photos, I can't stand being in the photos, to this.
Yes.
This was in the fall of 2019, just before the pandemic. Yeah, and this is the penthouse. Honey, we got out of there real fast. Maya, are you back online? I see you texting. You back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The photo I showed was this one.
Oh my God.
Where was this? Do you remember?
The district.
Oh, okay.
Because that was the first time that I had ribs after I came back from being vegetarian.
Yeah. And just so y'all know, Tony conned all the vegetarians out of being vegetarian.
Well, no, first I was vegan, and he conned me out of that and was like, oh, just go vegetarian like your mom, like just whatever. So then I went vegetarian, and then it was only 2 years before he got my mom a vegetarian for 12 plus years and me to go to meat.
Mm-hmm.
It was a steak.
That's Tony.
Setup. It was a setup. He could make you do anything. Like, he was a bad like influence. He was a bad influence. Again, we were in Jamaica, I think. Yeah, obviously by his shirt. Look, we were in Jamaica on vacation. Y'all, he would be mad that I told this story, but he has told this story before. So y'all see this very outfit that he got on with these fresh Jordans. So we in Jamaica, and there's this mall, and the mall got marble outside, right? Bad. I mean, marble as far as you can see it. We out there and it started raining. Y'all, he got on fresh Jordans. It started raining. Tony slipped and fell on the marble. It was probably the hardest fall I had ever seen. Y'all, I lost my breath. I died. Like, literally. At first, I was standing there like, I was in shock. Like, is he okay? Because it's pouring, soaking wet. This linen outfit was soaking freaking wet. So he laying there and he started laughing. Right? So he get up and we look. The mall security standing in the thing. They laughing so hard they had to close the window. And Tony just sitting there laughing. Yeah, it was so funny. But that little outfit and them shoes, honey, didn't make it back to that boat. So this was before all of that. So he was sharp. He was soaking wet by the time we made it back. Let me see. This picture.
Ivana.
That's Ivana. Him and Ivana's relationship. Ivana is the daughter of one of our close friends and people that we do business with in Mexico. When Ivana met Tony, I think Ivana was 2 or so.
2. She was 2.
She was 2. And when I tell you, and if I ever seen an antisocial child, it's this one.
She was so shy. Would not speak
to
nothing.
Anybody. Wouldn't look at you in the face. Like, no, like waving. Oh, hey. No, not this one.
And she had like her face, they face was the same. She never smiled at nobody in the beginning. Never laughed. You could not get her to show no teeth.
She had a resting mean face. Like a resting mean face. This little girl, and she like 2. When her and Tony got together though, Tony was the only one she talked to. He couldn't understand nothing she said because she spoke Spanish and she talked baby talk in Spanish. He couldn't understand nothing. He was the only one she talked to. They would hug each other, sit and talk just like that.
Wow.
She still go to sleep and wake up and dream about Tony.
Really?
She say all the time that she seen Tony in her dreams. They had a really special relationship.
Even now, like going over to their house and stuff, and like toys that he gave her, she'd be like, "Oh, mi tío." Always. She loved him.
Loved him like crazy. I didn't think she would stop crying when he first passed away, and we were trying to explain to her, that he had made his transition. I mean, she cried for days.
Yeah.
Days. And just kept asking, like, about heaven and asking about, like, can she go? Will she see him? And like I said, even now, she still thinks about him and dreams about him. I do believe that he visits her. I really do.
You know what, Isha?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of Tony's greatest gifts, and that was with every child.
Mm-hmm.
Tony was a minister to children. It didn't matter who the adults were. The first thing that Tony always was going to do was make great fatherly relationships with every child that's there. And that's just, I think that was one of Tony's greatest ministries, besides the teaching, was that he was actually a nurturer of children. And I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. He had a great relationship with children, with babies, even. I'm going to try to see if I can find a couple more pictures of him. Now, y'all know my man could chill. Hard. Hard. We were at this ranch in Texas. We went on vacation. And it was up in the mountains. Super luxury. Actually, Dave, this is the place that I was talking about. Super luxury place. While we were on vacation, we met Tom Brady. And so watching Tony and Tom Brady drink and make jokes was pretty interesting. So this is the last time we came to Kansas City.
Yeah, I remember that. They were at his dad's house.
Yep. And so Tony's there in the gray, and to his left is Pops, is his dad. Right in front of him with the hat on with the red is Antoine, his brother, baby brother. And there was something special happening in this moment when I took this photo. Tony was a prophet in his own right. Tony knew things. Tony, we often talk about gifts that Tony and I shared. And he talked about how, in the beginning, he denied those gifts because he was afraid of them. But every now and then, Tony would say some things that was so profound about the present moment, about the future that ultimately would come to pass. So this particular visit in Kansas City, this is our last visit. And Tony and I had walked outside. Pops and Antoine was sitting down there already. But before we walked out the door, Tony turned around and looked at me and said, "I ain't never coming back here." He said, "This is my last time here." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And to me, I thought he was saying, everything with the pandemic and all that kind of stuff, like, they was going to inhibit travel, because he always talked about that, like, oh, it's going to be something worse behind it. And so when Tony walked down the stairs and he go over here and he sit down, he's telling them, like, this probably going to be the last time y'all see me. And so I snapped this photo. And so, like I said, ultimately that was his last time. Our last trip to Kansas City. And so, anyway, many of you have heard me tell the story about the last week and a half of Tony's life here in this dimension. A lot of the conversation was him preparing me for his transition. Before we went on this trip, not this trip to Kansas City, but the one when we were on vacation for Father's Day, he woke me up out of my sleep and he said, "Hey, let me show you where this is because I moved this. If something were to ever happen, I want you to know that I put this here." And I was like, yo, I just want to sleep. Why are you waking me up? Talk to me about it in the morning. But there was such an urgency that night. And subsequently, those are all things that I would need to know where they were located. So I'm glad he did that. But he was a preparer for sure. Look at him. This was his birthday. One of his favorite restaurants was in Guadalajara. Anyone that knew Tony in Mexico knew that his favorite meal was a Mexican dish called mole. And Tony started eating this dish when he was in Kansas City. One of his Mexican coworkers introduced him to the dish that he used to call chocolate chicken, because the base of the sauce of mole is made from cacao. And so Tony started eating mole when he was in Kansas City. And when we moved to Mexico, to Guadalajara, of course he's going to eat mole. Like, because you in Mexico, the birthplace of mole. And so he loved it. So we had a restaurant that we used to go to all the time that made 11 different types of mole from all over the region. And so for this particular birthday, they isolated the whole top part of the restaurant. It was just Tony and I having dinner. And we had an amazing time, and all he did was eat mole. And he looked bad in that hat. This photo is one of my favorite photos.
Yeah.
This is Grandma Mildred and Tony. You've heard her mentioned throughout this call tonight, and several references of her. This is them, and they were really close. Grandma, do you want to add anything about their relationship?
Yeah, they were very close. He loved her very much.
Yeah, he did. There was a lot of stories about Tony and Grandma Mildred's relationship. I want to make sure I add this photo and this one. And then I know it's getting late, so I just want to make reference really quick to a couple people who is not online. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking for this one particular photo really quick that y'all are gonna find interesting. Girls.
Yes.
Check your text message. There's a photo
If you gotta send it to verify, so no.
that I want to share. Gosh. I'm gonna send it to Lisa.
Okay.
Find this photo for me. So I can share it. Okay. Jaleesa, you want to give some background on this photo?
So he would every night he used to walk around the property with our dog, our pit bull, and he would be on patrol, so he would make sure everything was straight. And all those nights he was on patrol, he would come and mess with me every night. Just get on my nerves for no reason. Just stand there
out the window like a stalker. Like the windows would be closed and we had like automatic curtains and stuff. And he would just be standing there watching you. Waiting for you to notice that he was standing there.
And sometimes he did with a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He had like a wolf mask on or something like that. All right. Mish.
And this is me and Tony and our youngest niece Aaliyah. This was actually taken at our Aunt Barbara's memorial. Yeah, this is a nice picture, and Aaliyah has grown so much since then. Definitely loved her Uncle Pony. Definitely continued that Uncle Pony. Man, me and Tony made that drive. 8 hours from Texas to Kansas City. There and back. And it was actually, I want to say about like 3 weeks after I just came back from Mexico. Being able to see Mexico for the first time, and then of course spending time with Tony, Isha, and the kids. So yeah, definitely I cherished that time. Learned a lot. We got a chance to talk a lot on that trip. So I'm grateful to God that I was able to experience that time with him, with just my big brother.
Of course, he really enjoyed spending that time with you. I think I was, where was I? Wherever I was at, y'all got an opportunity to just have some brother and sister. I was in Guadalajara.
Yes, because you had to check Jada back because her passport was expired.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was in Guadalajara. So he really enjoyed that time with you. Mish, you want to do that one?
Yeah, that's Aaliyah and her Uncle Pony. Yep, his second niece. And I'm sure he taught her everything he taught Tiana, the first niece. How to bite,
right?
How to throw things, how to hit people. Yes, he did.
Okay. Let's see. Grandma, you want to speak to that one?
It looks like Tony to the right, LaRon in the middle, and I'm not sure who that is on the left.
That's Preston.
Okay.
LaRon's brother-in-law.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And do you know where this picture was taken?
trying to remember. We would have had to be in Kansas City. I don't remember. I think I took the photo. I just don't remember where we were at.
OP.
And those, huh?
I'm looking at that menu on the table and it said drinks. It says OP. I don't know what that means.
Was it
might have been
Overland
it.
Park
Overland
in
Park. Yeah, it
Kansas?
could have been.
Oh,
Yeah.
could have been.
Yeah. Yep.
Could have been. Let me see. Just a few more photos, and let's see. This one.
That was
Maya,
my 18th
Lisa.
birthday. That was my 18th birthday. We had went horseback riding. It took me years to convince him to let me go horseback riding because he was scared that the horse was gonna like throw me off or something. So it took me years to get him to let me go. Yeah, that was my last birthday we spent together. And he gave me my first shot, my first drink. It wasn't a shot. It was a shot, but it was like a triple shot.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so Tony, for those that don't know, on Maya's 18th birthday, we were hanging out at a beach club after we went horseback riding. And he bought a bottle and poured shots directly in her mouth, not in a glass, but from a spout directly in her. It was so embarrassing because it was parents looking at me like, really? That's what y'all got going on?
So
Like
I was
questioning
good.
our judgment. For real. So you are so wrong for that.
You
Mom.
so wrong for that. You know, he would have
know.
No.
So the reason that this is funny is because so the kids had asked for a dog for years. They want a dog, they want a dog, they want a dog. What was this, Christmas when we got Tasha?
Yes.
I got Tasha for Christmas.
It was Christmas in 2020.
Okay. So Tony goes to get Tasha, and she's a little bitty pit bull.
Mind you, she had blue eyes and was gray.
Right. So he gives me and the kids this lecture. Like, this ain't my dog. I ain't gonna be cleaning up after no dog. Right? This is on his way to go get the dog. This ain't my dog. Y'all asking for this dog. I ain't cleaning up after this dog. I ain't taking this dog for a walk. I ain't doing none of that. So he go get the dog. He bring Tasha back. Tasha's a couple weeks old, like a baby. And so he's sitting there holding her like she was glass, right? Tasha wouldn't sleep. It was like having a newborn baby in the house. I mean, was crying. I was having to get up all in the middle of the night to feed this dog, like bottle feed this dog. Me and the kids, and he in there sleep like a baby. I was so upset. Tasha would be crying. She'd wake up in the middle of the night. He'd be like, go get your dog. Excuse me. Hey, go get your dog. And I'd be like, yo, that's not my dog. You went and got this dog for these kids, and I got looped in this mess. Like, you should be up with this dog. So, about a week later, Tony want to play with the dog. Now Tony want to pick up the dog. Now Tony got the dog all.
It was not a week, mommy. Mommy, it was not a week. It was like 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
Before he started like wanting to play with her. He just didn't want her at night.
He watching TV with the dog.
The dog allowed him on the couch.
Got the dog. And now we gotta think. The dog don't come nowhere in the house, like in the bedrooms, nothing like that. Like, don't think about no furniture. Don't cross this line. He got the dog on a sofa. He got the dog in the truck in my seat. He walking around like we had this thing like you carry babies in, but for dogs. Like, I'm like, bruh, like you one of them people? You one of them? He got the dog strapped across the front. And then I walk in the room. He got the dog in the bed. That's a no-go for me. No-go. He got
was
the
on
dog
his
in the
side.
bed. Right. So fast forward, that type of relationship continues with this dog. Now this dog damn near 100 pounds. Okay. I walk in the room, Tasha all the way across the bed, Tony across the other side. California King, and I can't fit because it's the dog and Tony. But this the same person. Get your dog. Go get your dog. This ain't my dog. Him. So, and Tasha, it was weird to see a dog mourn. But she would walk around the house like super sad, looking for him. It's crazy. This is on the way to Laredo. Doing car karaoke. That would be the last trip. And like I said, Tony was super prophetic because on this trip to Laredo, when we got to Laredo, it was 80 miles we had to go up a mountain and then come back down the mountain to get to the resort. So it was 80 miles before you could get to a street. So it's 40 miles up, 40 miles back down. And that's the only way you could get out of this resort. And so on the way there, Tony kept saying, I'm not driving back up this hill. I ain't driving back up this mountain. And I kept saying, well, who gonna drive then? Because I ain't driving. Who gonna drive? We kind of had this like back and forth thing that we used to do. And he kept saying, I'm telling you, I ain't driving back up this mountain. And so, as you all would know, Tony would make his transition while we were at this resort. And when we were leaving, we were following the transport of his body in another vehicle. The resort had arranged for transportation and all this stuff to get Tony secure. I remember looking at the vehicle transporting him, saying, well, he said he wasn't going to drive back up this mountain, and he meant it. Tony was a man of his word. If he said it, he wasn't going to do it. If he said he was going to do it, he did it. And so, again, that was his last ride. So, but, I'm gonna share this final photo. He probably would kill me if he knew it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay. Look. Look. So just so y'all know, the layout. This is my master bedroom. This sofa or sectional is at the foot of my bed. So where do you think this dog is standing?
On your bed.
On my bed.
Mom, but at least they always was on his side of the bed. He let her in the bed.
And look at her daddy. Look at her daddy. Didn't say nothing.
But it's on his side.
So this is the kind of stuff that you had to know Tony to see. But yeah, so the dog would just go and hop in the bed and watch him play video games. So I got several photos of the dog and Tony playing Xbox. And then she looking at me like, what you doing here? Why are you sitting over there on that sofa? And he looking at me like, that's his girl. I'm the one in the way. So, but anyway, I appreciate you all for jumping on tonight and sharing the photos and stories of the Honorable Tony Franklin. We will continue to always celebrate his life and to honor him. He's my best friend. And my partner.
Yep.
And so I would love him eternally. I know, I love y'all too.
Yeah, we love you.
And Grandma and Tamisha and David and Jay and Rick. Thank you so much. And Jariah in the background and anybody that tapped in online and said, hey, it's such a messages and your wishes. Larry and Shamir who jumped on, and anybody that I missed. Thank you so much for just celebrating him tonight. And we love our family. Y'all know, somebody asked me, are you still close with his family? And I said, what do you mean his family? It's my family. It's our family. What you talking about?
Absolutely.
His family. It's my family. It's our family.
Yes.
So I love you guys eternally. I appreciate you all and continue to represent him well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So y'all have a great night. I'm sure I'll talk to all of y'all within the next 24 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
So good night for now. Jaya, my baby sister, I love you, girl.
I love you more.
Good night, everybody. My brother, DW in the building. I love you.
Good
Love
night,
you too.
y'all.
Y'all have a great night.
Thank you all for the pictures. Some of those was the first time I've ever seen that. And low key, I wish I could get 2 minutes with him to be like, bro, what did you have on?
Right.
His
Like,
mama. That's his mama fault. That's his mama fault.
Okay. We're going
For real.
we're gonna blame
Wait.
you all. But thank you all for the stories, and thank you all for like I said, the walking down memory lane with you guys. Some of you I've never got to meet you in person, but I've definitely heard about you in great ways. And Tony was just one of a kind. He really was. Like my sister, no. I can go on and on and on because, like I said, his spirit, his aura was just different. And I thank you all for sharing him with me, allowing me to meet him. He was one hell of a man. Not boy, not guy. That's the definition of a man.
Thanks.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Wait, Isha and everybody, I would be remiss. You know, we all know how great Tony is. And I just want to just remind us about something about Tony. Tony was an extraterrestrial antenna. Not only do we love him, Tony was visited by beings and living beings that don't live on our planet and in our dimension.
Mhm.
And that just shows how great of an antenna this man was. And I'm serious. Tony would tell you about his encounters. And if you don't know, Isha will tell you about him. But Tony was an antenna that was universal. And we all know that to be true. That's why we love him so much. I love you all, Isha, the girls, Mom,
You too, Uncle.
Love you,
little
Uncle.
sis. Man, just we carry on. But Tony is still with us because that antenna was strong enough to reach out to the universe, and that antenna still reaches us today. Love you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, bro.
Love y'all. Gotta go cry my little face off. I love y'all.
All right. Love you too.
Love you.
Talk to
Love
you
you.
soon.
Love
Love
you. Good night, everybody.
Bye,
Love you,
everyone.
Auntie.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Love you guys.
What the call?